National Disability Institute for since 2015. But I come from a background of providing financial education information. I am a benefits advisor. I can help people who receive SSI, SSDI to understand what work supports they are eligible for. And I've worked in several micro lending programs, and the assistive technology loan program is an example of a small lending program. And as questions come to mind, I wanted to invite you to put your questions into the Q&A box, and Ariane will let me know if those questions come in so I can answer and move forward with the presentation. We'll all be like on the same page. So, National Disability Institute is based out of Washington, D.C., but I live and work out of New York State. We envision a society in which people who have a disability have the same opportunities to achieve financial stability and independence as people who do not have a disability. Our services focus on financial wellness, employment, capacity building, and the provision of reliable resources. So I've provided several links in this slide deck will be made available so you can access this following today's presentation. So the first link is to the National Disability Institute. The next link is to the ABLE National Resource Center. So the parent organization is National Disability Institute, and the ABLE National Resource Center falls under that, as well as these other programs as well. So we have the NDI Assistive Technology Loan Program. We have a Financial Resilience Center. You're welcome to view all of those materials there. They're intended to help families who have a member who has a disability. We have a relatively new initiative, although we've been doing this since like 2010, working with families, helping them to understand that there are free tax preparation sites available across the United States. And this link will take you to a site that has disability-specific tax filing information that, again, you're welcome to view those webinars and look at that information. One of our newest initiatives is the NDI Small Business Hub. And that's for individuals who have a disability who want to start or grow their business who are self-employed. So you're welcome to take a look at that resource. And they even have a TV channel where they're spotlighting really successful entrepreneurs who just happen to have a disability. So we also have a research arm here at National Disability Institute. And a report indicates that households containing a working age adult who has a disability require on average 28% more income, or an additional $17,750 more a year at the median household income to obtain the same standard of living as a comparable household that does not have a member with a disability. So what are those expenses? It's getting yourself back and forth to all kinds of medical appointments. It could be the loss of medical insurance associated with employment, and maybe there's extra expenses for out-of-pocket expenses. Maybe it's the need for assistive technology, things of that nature. So an ABLE account can cover many of these extra expenses, including assistive technology and services. And then this NDI AT loan program can help a person, if we can't find a grant for someone who needs assistive technology, and the person simply is going to need to purchase that assistive technology, if they need to borrow the money to make that purchase, the interest rate with us is only 4% interest. An individual does not need to have a credit history to get a loan. They simply need to be age 18 or older. And we make sure that the person can afford their monthly expenses in addition to the assistive technology and those surrounding expenses. For example, affording a modified vehicle and comprehensive auto insurance for that vehicle. So working together, saving money or investing money in an ABLE account, and when a person needs to purchase assistive technology and they need a loan for that to go through an NDI AT loan program, can help to save that person money and help to preserve really the savings that that individual has in an ABLE account. So why is there a need for an assistive technology loan program? So financial institutions are reluctant to issue loans for accessible vehicles when the modification is so expensive and the retail value, for example, of a vehicle is not greater than or equal to the price point for financing. So like how is it that every modified vehicle is selling for so much money, even though they may be 10 years old? And banks are reluctant to give those loans for those devices. Loans for hearing aids and vision wear are expensive and are difficult to secure. Many people who have a disability experience low credit scores, like a person who maybe had a health event, who had to leave their employment, had good credit, maybe they struggled for a period of time to repay their credit, and that could have impacted their credit score. And maybe they are also experiencing reduction in income and extensive medical expenses. And so, how can a person with those situations afford assistive technology purchase? But we can help you with that information. And many seniors' credit scores decline as they use less credit. Many people do not have employment income or income that can be garnished. So like a bank or a credit union may be reluctant to give a person a loan for the assistive technology they need. In many cases, assistive technology vendors provide financing. And I see like advertisements all the time. Oh, this vehicle is going to sell for 2% interest. But then when I talk with people and they've driven away with that financing, they come to find out in many cases that that interest rate is 16 or 30% interest. And then the repayment term is sometimes up to 15 years. And the vehicle will never last that long. So we want to give you an alternative to those types of loans. So we received a grant from the U.S. Department of Education's Rehabilitation Services Administration way back in 2014. Our services include outreach, and we provide webinars, for example, spotlighting assistive technology. So earlier today, we recorded a webinar for those who have visual impairments about support services available across the United States for those who have a visual impairment. We also have webinars on spending plan development, on vision aids. We're going to have one soon on seeing eye dogs and service animals to help people to understand their rights around having such an animal. And we provide financial education and guidance on spending plan development and the provision of referrals and affordable loans to help people get the assistive technology they need. We've partnered with Springbank to issue and service pre-qualified loans up to $45,000, and so that the borrower, you, if you needed a loan, would only need to pay 4% interest. NDI is buying down the interest. We pay the bank so that you experience only 4% interest. And if you've been following the news, interest rates are going way up, and the average used vehicle now is 8 or higher percent interest. So this could save you considerable money. We also deposit money with the financial institutions that work with us, that if that loan defaults, we pay the bank in full, and we will work with that borrower to help them to continue to repay that loan or follow with collection activities. But we really haven't needed to do that because upfront, we make sure that the person can truly afford the assistive technology. So just to let you know, there are assistive technology demonstration events held across New Jersey and New York where you can try out assistive technology before you buy it. And in some cases, they give you assistive technology that you can borrow indefinitely, or maybe for like 30 or 60 days while maybe you're preparing to make a purchase for assistive technology. You may also be able to purchase reused devices, and sometimes those are available free of charge as well. So we have a resource guide where you can explore different grants available to help people get assistive technology. But we encourage you to take your time to make sure that that assistive technology is really going to work for you before you make the purchase. And you can give me a call. My number is 202-449-9521. Let me know what you need. So some people, when we talk, I give them 4 referrals for resources. Other people, I give them 8 referrals for resources, given what they share with me that they want to address. So feel free to give me a call. I'll be here until 12 noon tomorrow, but I start at 8 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes a school district is required to purchase assistive technology, and that's for someone who is still in, through high school. But usually when a person goes to college, if they need assistive technology, either Access VR or DVRS in New Jersey, a person can apply with them and see if they will purchase the needed assistive technology so the person can go to like a college or a training program, and that would lead to employment. Or if the person's ready to start a job or to start self-employment and they need assistive technology, sometimes Access VR and DVRS or the Commission for the Blind will purchase assistive technology. Also, in some cases, the local Department of Labor will also purchase assistive technology. And then I wanted to let everyone know that if you receive SSI and or SSDI disability benefits, you're eligible for work supports through the Social Security Administration. For example, there's blind work expenses, there's impairment-related work expenses, there's subsidies, there's a plan for achieving self-support. All of these things help a person to purchase what they need for either their education that leads to employment or employment. And using these work supports really helps that person to stay in pay status longer for their SSI and or SSDI benefits. And for example, in New York State, there's a special type of Medicaid that an individual continues to be eligible for until they earn more than $74,000. So, there are ways to learn about these work supports, and I have the link here. Okay. So best practices to purchase assistive technology. Research the availability of grants specific to the type of disability you have. So you may want, if you have like a spinal cord injury, you may want to, for example, ask Mount Sinai if they have grants available, maybe apply through the Christopher Reeves Foundation. You can give me a call based upon what county you live in and your circumstances. I may be able to help you find a grant. Medical insurance may pay for items that are medically necessary. And some of you may be on the home and community-based waiver services. And in some cases, that's included in the life plan. The Medicaid waiver will purchase that needed assistive technology. So you're welcome to use our loan program as an affordable alternative to AT vendor financing terms. And also, you may wish to consider opening and saving money in an ABLE account. Do we have any questions, Ariane, before I go?
Yes, we have one question.
Great.
John asked, are these accounts for people injured at the age of 26 and under?
An ABLE account, correct. And if a person needs our assistive technology loan program, there's no age limit to apply for the loan. That individual needs to be age 18 or older, but a parent could apply for that youth who needs assistive technology, who's younger than the age of 18, for example. So this is a good question, John, because last December, Congress approved the ABLE Age Adjustment Act. So as of January 1st, 2026, people who have a disability that began before age 46 will then be ABLE eligible. They can open an ABLE account and save and invest money in there. So, let's go on. So ABLE savings up to $100,000 will not affect SSI benefits or Medicare Part D, extra help, or any type of Medicaid. A person can have any amount of ABLE savings, and it will not affect their free application for federal student aid, their FAFSA financial aid, will not impact any HUD subsidized housing or, for example, Section 8 benefits. ABLE savings investment monies will not impact SNAP benefits, will not change a person's SSDI insurance or Medicare savings programs or any type of Medicaid benefit, including Medicaid waiver services. A person who has a Social Security number or a tax filing ID number and who has a disability or blindness that began before age 26 and is either receiving SSI or SSDI, or whose benefits have been suspended, maybe because they're working due to excess income or resources, provided that their blindness or disability occurred before the date the person turned age 26, is ABLE eligible. So for those who live, like I know lots of folks, they have a disability, they have never received SSI or SSDI benefits, they may still be ABLE eligible if they still have their disability that began before age 26. So all that person needs to do is go to their doctor and ask them to sign a disability certification. And then you simply hold that on file should the ABLE plan or the IRS ever ask you for a copy. Any questions now? Okay. Who can put money into an ABLE account? It can be the ABLE account owner. It could be their friends, their family, their employer. They can make direct deposits into that ABLE account. Now, when an employer makes a deposit into an ABLE account or the able account owner deposits some of their employment income into their able account, that is still countable earned income. So those contributions don't reduce countable income, but it reduces the resources that are countable for individuals. So some people, their families maybe saved money in a 529 college account. So up to $17,000 could be rolled into an ABLE account now. And that ruling may change after January 26th. So we're getting close to that marker. So if somebody has 529 college savings and they're not certain they're going to use it on college, they may want to roll it into an ABLE account. Also, if a person has a trust or a pool trust, they can ask that trust to deposit money into the ABLE account for that ABLE account owner. And the ABLE account is always opened in the person's name who has the disability, and that can be opened at any age. So, you know, many people are born with a disability. So in that case, their parents could open an ABLE account now for that child who has a disability. So from all combined sources of contributions to an ABLE account, this year up to $17,000 can be deposited into an ABLE account. That ABLE account owner who works and does not have contributions made to a retirement account for the calendar year may contribute up to an additional, I'm sorry, I thought this number had changed, $13,590. So that's a total of $30,590 this calendar year. So that can really help a person to save, and the person can also choose investment options through the ABLE plan they select. And ABLE investments is not taxable income as long as those monies, when spent, are spent on qualified disability expenses. So what is a qualified disability expense? So the IRS defines this to be assistive technology, education, basic living expenses, including food and shelter, housing, including utilities, rent, maybe a modification to make like the shower roll-in accessible, or to widen the doorway, or to put a stair lift in, whatever the person might need. They can also use the funds to cover property taxes, for transportation expenses, employment and training support. So, you know, if you're eligible, let's say for a grant from Access VR here in New York State, the fact that you have an ABLE account does not impact your eligibility for help from vocational rehabilitation, okay? The funds can be used for personal support services and respite care, for healthcare expenses, disability-related vacations, and recreational activities. So if you're going to sporting events and participating in adaptive sports, all those expenses are qualified disability expenses. You can use funds in an ABLE account to cover legal fees and to have help to manage the funds in your ABLE account if you choose. And then ABLE funds can also be used for funeral and burial expenses. Do we have any questions now? Are we okay, Ariane?
New question that just came up. Hello, can I have an ABLE or special savings account question?
Okay.
They disabled me in 2010. I was 43. Can I get an ABLE for computer, etc., or likewise account?
You can on January 1st, 2026, because you would have experienced your disability before age 46, but right now you're not eligible. So give me a call sometime And we can talk about maybe other ways that you could save money for what it is you need. Okay. And so this is an example of a spending plan. And really, this is a page out of our loan application for the Assistive Technology Loan Program. So like this looks different for everybody who completes one of these. So let's say it's mine. Well, I paid for my mortgage in full, so I don't have to pay for housing expenses now. It's like zero, but probably I have property taxes if I own a home. So then I put in that slot $200. If I divide all of my property taxes and school taxes by 12, I put in there the amount that I need to save each month. So when I get the bill, I have that money saved that I can simply write out the check. So preparing a spending plan and putting in there the true costs, out of pocket costs for like groceries and what you pay for housing and transportation can really help you understand how much money maybe you have left over the end of the month to save in an ABLE account, or that you could use to repay a loan or to address any outstanding credit that you may have. And this is an example of sources of income that a person can put in the spending plan. So I'll provide a link to the spending plan. So if you'd like to practice this, you're welcome to. You don't have to apply for a loan to use this form. And it's also posted on our Assistive Technology website, and you can access it anytime. And the first webinar recording is on how to complete one of these spending plans. So I invite you to explore that. I remember years ago, I was so stressed out trying to afford all of my monthly expenses and take care of my kids and stuff. And when I finally sat down and did my spending plan, I knew I just needed to work like a couple more hours a month and I would have enough income. And it really helped me to calm down, reduce my amount of stress, and I could then concentrate on moving forward, completing education, buying a house. And now my major goal is to save as much as I can for retirement. So we've just finished the month of April. If you had countable earned income, I'm hoping that everyone filed their income taxes. If you did not, you can still go back and contact a free tax preparation site and do taxes for all the years maybe you've missed. And if you had money coming back to you, you could receive up to 3 months, up to 3 years of tax credit refunds. So when I filed my taxes years ago, like I said, I was struggling just to pay my monthly bills on time every single month. And I would get huge income tax refunds. And then finally I realized, this is silly. I'm letting my employer take out all of this money. Or if you're retired now, you're letting maybe Social Security Administration take out lots of money to pay for income taxes in advance. Well, if you got back more than $500 refund, you may want to speak with your tax preparer, and those free tax preparation sites are still open, and ask, how could you change your withholding so that you have more take-home money each month, that you're able to pay your bills on time each month, and that next year you would get a smaller refund, but it could save you a lot of money to be able to pay all of your bills on time every month. Now, the IRS has an app that you can go here and put in information about your family. It's confidential. For example, how much your earnings is from employment, how often you're paid, how many dependents you might have in your household, and it can help you to calculate. But I do it easily for myself by just speaking with my tax preparer and saying, look, this is how much I think I'm going to earn this next year. These are the people I can claim as dependents. How should I change my withholdings this year so that I have more money to save each month and to pay my bills on time each month? So here is a link for the earned income tax credit. And you can find your local free tax preparation site if you live in New York City by dialing 311. Elsewhere, if you call 211, they will tell you what free tax preparation site is still open to help you file income taxes. So maybe we have some questions now.
No new questions at the moment.
Okay. So I just would like to share with people, I work a lot with people who receive SSI and or SSDI. And some people are telling me that they were told that because they receive those benefits when they work, they don't need to file income taxes. It's so important that we file income taxes for any money that we earn from employment, because that can help us to qualify for more retirement benefits in the future. So if you have questions about that, you can give me a call too following today's presentation. So let's say somebody decides they want to purchase assistive technology and I can't find a loan, a grant to help that person purchase that assistive technology. So the person can complete that spending plan, submit copies of their heat, electric, telephone, cable bills, all sources of income. We meet together over the telephone and we review like the person's credit report. We talk about what's seen on that credit report. When that person tells me, okay, Laurie, I'm ready for my loan application to be considered, then I do a summary of that person's information. And we have a loan committee. 50% of those people who serve on the loan committee have a disability themselves. So they understand how important it is that people who need assistive technology get that assistive technology that they need. And they don't see any PII, no personal identifiable information. They just know the person lives in New York State, what their income is, what their monthly expenses are, what type of assistive technology they want to purchase, and if there were any concerns on the credit report. And then they really make the determination whether or not that application is pre-qualified. So what I like about the loan committee review process is that, for example, we had one person apply for a vision device loan. The person simply did not have enough money to be able to purchase that vision device. So the person who worked at vocational rehabilitation suggested that they were going to get in touch with the AT demonstration sites in that state and ask them to purchase those vision devices so that people who could not afford to purchase them could borrow them, sometimes indefinitely, so that they could see better. And so that was a great suggestion. So we all sort of worked together. They'll ask me, gee, what referrals did you give this person? They'll tell me about something maybe I didn't realize was out there that could help the person. And the effort is to help reduce the amount of the loan for people, to save them money so that they can continue to save as much for their future as they can, but get the assistive technology that they need. So like I said, the loan committee, sees this information, and we have a very high repayment rate here with the AT loan program. We're expected to maintain a 94 to 98% repayment rate. So we're careful in who we lend money to, but we help you to qualify. So I just wanted to share with you an example. So let's say somebody needs to purchase assistive technology that's selling for $10,000. And they figure they can afford a 5-year repayment term. So if they go to the AT vendor, maybe it's like a hearing aid. Usually that starts out 0% interest, but after 6 months, it goes up to 16% interest. So then that monthly payment is $243 a month. That totals over 5 years, $14,591. Now, sometimes for these vision devices or assistive technology, the AT vendors say, well, why don't you just use your credit card? Well, a credit card interest rate, right, is usually 24% interest. So instead, that's going to end up costing for a $10,000 assistive technology device, $17,269. So if somebody instead comes to our loan program, gets a loan for $10,000, 4% interest, regardless of their credit score, their monthly payment's only $184 a month, and they would pay a total of $11,050. And if that person has no credit history, because the bank is reporting each month that that person pays their loan on time, they're developing a good credit score. And that could save a person at least $3,541. So if you had $3,500, what would you do then with that money? Would it be a vacation that you need? Would it be traveling to see family and friends? That money's important to you, I'm sure. So that's why this loan program is here. How long does it take to get one of our loans? We're averaging about 2 days turnaround, but like I said, I urge people to take their time to find the right assistive technology that they need. And then I will help, once I have their loan application, to get that process all completed. The packet goes to the bank when pre-qualified, and they issue the loan. It's usually issued to the AT vendor. So I wanted to offer, like, if anyone would like to serve on the loan committee, if you don't need a loan now, you could help us. You could volunteer your time. It's only maybe an hour once a month to look at the information that's presented, and you could help decide if someone should be pre-qualified for a loan or if that loan application should be denied. You could help us to distribute the ABLE NRC flyer to let other people know that there are savings investment accounts that they can look at. And you could help to distribute the NDI AT loan flyer as well. I have links here for you, and many of those I covered earlier in the presentation. There is a New York ABLE Spotlight webinar, and that will probably be posted at the ABLE NRC website in the next week, I would say. And I just wanted to give you a chance again to ask any questions that you may have. And we have about 15 more minutes. If you wanted me to go to a website, I could do that too and walk you through the website. So are there any questions?
We have one more question that popped up. Can these loans be used to pay off existing credit cards?
Not for credit cards. And generally, it's not a good idea to borrow money to pay off something that you already owe money on. But you may want to look for your local National Federation of Consumer Credit Counseling. And they can help you to develop like that spending plan. If you needed a debt management program, the credit card companies would agree in some cases to lower the interest rate. So when you send one payment into them each month, it goes further to repay all of those creditors. And, after 3 years, when you paid everybody back, that will help your credit score to come up again. But the best case scenario is to meet with Consumer Credit Counseling Services to pay the creditors as originally agreed, and then your credit score will go up. But in some cases, those creditors are charging so much interest, you're not going to catch up unless you do something like a debt management program. And they'll help you to figure out if you can afford that or not. So I used to work there for 14 years, and only a few people really needed to file bankruptcy. Any other questions?
One more question. What is the maximum amount you can have in the ABLE account, and does the account earn interest?
So you can choose which ABLE account you're interested in. Let me go to the ABLE National Resource Center site. So I'm going to do this, share, and I'm going to search for that. ABLE. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's go here to get started. We could look at all the state ABLE plans. So everything in green on this map, they offer an ABLE plan. So I think a lot of you today happen to live in New York State, so maybe we want to start there. So this is where you would go to open the account. If you have questions of New York ABLE, you can give them a call. They're open for enrollment. So the question was, how much can I save if I don't receive SSI benefits? A person could save up to $520,000 in the New York ABLE account. There are other ABLE accounts offered by other states that allow savings up to $550,000. New York State ABLE now offers that people who do not live in New York State could open an ABLE account. Here's that contribution limit of $17,000. But if a person's working and they don't have contributions made to a retirement account this year, they can contribute an additional $13,590 in their ABLE account. So you have to open the account online. You can't walk into Fifth Third Bank and open an ABLE account. They will not know what you're talking about. And New York ABLE offers 5 investment choices. And it goes over further information for every single state ABLE plan. So let me take you here. So let's say you want to see the IRS guidelines about ABLE accounts. Here are the current regulations. And you can read through this. This is I forget how many pages. It's good if you have a hard time getting to sleep at night, you can read through all of that, okay? But it has HUD, what HUD statement is about ABLE savings, how ABLE savings is not accountable resource for any HUD program. If you receive SNAP benefits, what does SNAP have to say about ABLE accounts? And where is it? And what does Social Security have to say about ABLE accounts? So all that information is here. Let's say you want to compare all the ABLE plans. Occasionally I'll meet somebody who's they should be an accountant because they love to see lots of information. So let's select a state here. We'll start any state. So we'll say Illinois. And I want to submit this. Let's see what comes up. Is it going to work for me? Yes. So here I can view the information for all the ABLE plans. And this is going to open up for me. Can I get it? Oh, there. Oh, I can't find. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I can open this spreadsheet now. And it shows me every single ABLE plan, the information about it. So this goes over Alabama's ABLE plan, you can save $475. Alaska, you can save up to $400. So that's for those who want to see lots of information, okay? Let's go back. Okay, here we go. So here's information on managing an account. So some people want help. They can name a family member or a representative payee or a guardian to help the person manage the account. Here's information for service providers. It's a service provider toolkit. And so, for example, here's that flyer that I gave you the link for. And so you could hand that out like to people so that they learn that ABLE accounts are available. If the employer has never heard of an ABLE account and maybe they want to learn about an ABLE account, they can go here to learn, and there's different handouts for employers. Here's resources. So let's say you want to see that an ABLE plans webinar. So here's one. This talks about the stable accounts. So those are available in, I think, 14 states. But the New York ABLE plan will be posted here, like I said, in the next week. This is a great webinar. It teaches people about different tax incentives, like the earned income tax credit, disability-related tax credits, and that's a webinar specifically about that. Here's ABLE Now, ABLE America. Those are sort of a different type of ABLE account. So it's an investor sold. So you might want to compare that to another type of ABLE plan, for example. So their webinar goes into that. And then here's a webinar on ready and able to work and save money within an ABLE account. So did anyone have more questions?
There's one more question. Does working for a nonprofit allows me to get an ABLE account?
The fact that a person has a disability that began before age 26 qualifies a person for an ABLE account. So if you wanted to save some of your earnings from that non-for-profit that pays you, you can have those deposited directly into your ABLE account. But let me share with you a best practice is if you receive like SSI or SSDI benefits, it's best to deposit those benefits directly into your regular checking account. Pay for your monthly expenses, including housing, food, all of your monthly bills from that account. If you have money left over at the end of the month, then those monies go into an ABLE account. So you can save it long term because let's say a person receives like SSI. So in New York State, that's close to $1,000 a month. If the person lives alone and they are paying for their share of rent. So if they deposit all of their SSI into their ABLE account, then pay for all their monthly expenses, well, they can only contribute, what, $5,000 more into their ABLE account this calendar year even though their balance might be zero, because already $12,000 was deposited. So try to put the extra money into the ABLE so you can have as much deposited as you possibly can. Any other questions?
Yes. Can we have these links and sources emailed to us after this session?
Yes. I'll do that first thing tomorrow morning. Okay, Ariane?
Yes, sounds good. And I'll share it with everyone.
Okay.
And then we have another question. Do they have any fees for having money in the account?
Yes. There is one ABLE plan that does not charge monthly or quarterly fees, but then you want to look at the fees that they charge for the investment portfolio, and that's different for each ABLE plan. They tend to be between like $35, $45 a month. Oh, yeah, that's correct. Yes. Okay, New York is $11 quarterly. Excellent. Great, great, great. Do we have any other questions? Would you like to see the AT loan site? I'll take you there. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'll share my screen. And let me go to here. NDI, this is our website, and underneath financial wellness is the Assistive Technology Loan Program. So you can reach me this way, or you can call me, like I said. Here, if you don't live in New Jersey or New York and you want to contact an assistive technology loan program, this link will take you to the full list of all the AT loan programs available across the United States. Okay, and then these are the webinars. So we had one today. It's not posted yet, but probably next week it will be posted. So if you want to see how to do a spending plan, this is that webinar here. And you can download the spending plan practice for yourself, and it will calculate all those figures for you to help you come up with a monthly budget. So here's a presentation on mediation and coaching. Here's one on the trade program. That's the demonstration sites across New York State that help people select assistive technology that will help them, and their services are free. So here's a webinar on World in Sign. They provide ASL interpretations.
Excuse me, Laurie. We can't see your screen.
Oh, I am so sorry. Okay, let me go here. Share screen, share. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so let me show you here. Here's the spending plan. Here's the spending plan webinar. This is on mediation services to help maybe your family to have dialogue about your financial goals and how maybe you wish to be more independent, for example. This is on the trade programs. They have AT demonstration sites across New York State, and their services are free. This is the Agribility program and that provides assistive technology resources for people who garden or who are farmers. Here is a wheel pad webinar. So it's a unit that can be rolled up alongside of your house within 3 days, and you have an accessible bathroom and bedroom, for example. If somebody wants a standing wheelchair, here's a presentation on standing wheelchairs. Here's a presentation on axiobionics. So this is electronic stimulation for muscles to help people stay in shape who have had an injury, or this shows a person with a back brace on. But and here's, I love the freedom chairs and the hiking trails across New York State and New Jersey. There's a presentation on that here. So you're welcome to explore those resources. And this is an OrCam device, so you can see what that is. Do we have more questions?
There was just one question that they wanted your phone number again.
Sure.
I can just put it in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Okay, here's my phone number. There it goes. Okay. And I'll be here first thing in the morning at 8 o'clock. Any more questions? Well, I really want to thank you for your time this afternoon. And, as questions come to mind, feel free to reach out to me. I really look forward to meeting you further and helping to meet your needs.
All right. Thank you, Laurie, so much for your presentation. We really appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Bye-bye now.
Bye.